Hello there. Welcome to Philosophy. I'm your host, Jennifer Fallaw, and tonight I'm going to talk about, we're going to do some ratings. Please hold off your questions until I tell you. I'm going to talk for a little while. I want to talk about what I think Trump is doing, and I think why it has delayed the RV a little bit. Okay. Hello, everyone. Hi, Gina. I know Marcy's in there somewhere. Mary, Darth, David. Yeah, Marcy's on it. All kinds of people in here today. I'm going to let everybody get in here for a second. I just put the link up a few minutes ago. So I haven't been on here for a little while. I took a little vacation, a little staycation, and that was fun. And I did relax. Okay, I got caught up on the emails up until yesterday so far, but you guys were waiting for like over a week there for some of you. So sorry about that, but I was really just trying not to do anything work related, and that was boring. So I'm done with that now. Mostly boring. I had a good time with my girls for my birthday and my daughters and for Mother's Day. That was nice. Let's see, I get to my notes here. So I was talking to a friend of mine this morning about this, and I put it together really nice this morning, and I can't even remember how I did that. So right now, I'm just going to talk about what I think is going on. Okay. So Trump all of a sudden decides to go over to Saudi Arabia. Okay. And everybody's like, no, we want the RV to go now. We've been waiting long enough. Let's get this over with. Okay. Well, what did he do in his first administration? He took his little trip around the world and he started all of these peace deals, and he started doing all of that then. And everybody's like, okay, well, now he has to do it. He has to do it again in this administration. Well, I think what he did then was getting everybody signed up to do Nasara Jasara around the world. And in the Gentel we got at that time that's what he was doing. And that's when Putin gave him the soccer ball. That's when a lot of things happened, okay? Then we go through the pandemic, we go through his administration, and then we go through, the fake president, Biden in office and everything else. And so that Trump, and all along we knew that Trump was the chief financial officer of the alliance, World Alliance. Not talking off world, I'm talking about for Earth, okay, the world. Now, this alliance, I was talking about a long time ago, and people are like, what? And then now, we're all familiar with the term. They have certain people in charge in certain countries of certain things to handle, like Trump with the finances, with the RV, with the transition of monies. He's in charge of pulling the switches and saying, okay, everything's ready to go. Let's do it. Putin's in charge of military operations and, getting rid of the cabal and stuff like that. So we've got certain players around the world. We don't know who's in charge of what, but we do know that Trump is in this position. And so we've always looked to him for the comms. We've looked to him for certain, for him to pull the trigger on this thing. And I told you all along that the other countries would all go to gold. And the United States would go last, because the dollar is the reserve currency of the world, and Trump is going to want it to remain to be that. It's going to remain as the reserve currency of the world, and he's going to want it to be a higher value than anybody else, or most anybody else. So a lot of things in this entire operation, in our minds, we tend to separate the political operation, getting rid of the cabal, the Q post, everything, and we all separate that operation from the financial change, but it's all one operation. And the end goal here is Nasara Jasara. Release the cures, change the currencies, sovereign nations, real money, better life all over the place. Okay. And there were certain markers along the way that we were supposed to look for. And all along we have. A long time everybody was into the Q post and we were watching that. I kind of think Elon was heading that operation up. But so a lot of things have been bits and pieces, all the puzzle pieces of Nasara Jasara have started to seep through into the public eye, into the public story, the public reveal. Recently we've been kind of like right there with the RV, which is the beginning of the transition into sound money across the world. It is the pulling in of the instruments of debt, the fiat money around the world. You can't just like say, well, sucks for you, and tell everybody their money's worthless. Well, hopefully you can get some of this real money here. No, you have to bring in the instruments of debt. You have to do things to fund the RV. And so we've got the different tiers of the RV. The bonds, tier 1, 2, 3, or 3A and 3B, and then we've got 4A and 4B. I think these big groups is 4A. Just looking at something. Hang on. Okay. So for a while now, we've just been it really hasn't been at a standstill behind the streets, scenes, because there's been a lot going on that, we receive intel about, and we're sworn to secrecy, so we can't tell you. I don't tell you about that. But there is the process to release a rate, the process for an entire world in many different countries to have their rates ready to go on the Forex and to release all that is a very complicated process. It's not just like, okay, tell the guy to pull the switch and it's on. No. And we know that Trump is a master at negotiations. That's why he got this position. And so along the way, different countries have been told, all right, you need to do this, this, and that to be in compliance, to be ready for this thing to go. And we've seen different countries come. A couple weeks ago, a lot of countries came to the USA to sit down with Trump and have, a conference or meetings. I believe that they were told certain things and they were told to go back and get that done so that we can move forward. Recently, we've got Trump telling us that he's going to have some biggest announcement ever, okay? And then he comes out, the only announcement we get is that unless something happened today, anything happened today, I've been working since I woke up. Anybody? Am I missing anything before I move on? Scott, you watching? Anyway. So then, day after day, inside intel is that it's supposed to go in 2 hours. It's supposed to go in 4 hours. It's supposed to go in 6 hours. It's supposed to go. It's supposed to go. It's supposed to go. All across the board, everybody's watching. Everybody's getting the green light. Everybody says it's there. Okay, then all of a sudden it stops. Okay, why? Then we hear that Trump is going to go to Saudi Arabia. Interesting. I think, in a nutshell, is that he's gone over there in person, either to... Really? Okay. You want to tell me why, Scott? I I think he's gone over there in person because he has the final signature on things. This might be, and there is some kind of final, whether it's, they've got in the public eye, yes, we're doing this, but behind the scene, everybody goes into a big, giant room and signs off the final signatures on this money transition. And I think that's what's happening right now. We should have recorded that, Scott, because I explained it really well this morning. So let me see. Oh, hang on. Oh, okay. Okay. And then we've gotten along the way news of funding happening, different tiers, all these things. Okay. So stop doing that. I need to get to my notes. Okay. Oh, that's the other part of it. I've been running around all day. I've been working like a mad woman since I got back from vacation. Okay. So I believe he's signing off on Nasara Jassara on this trip. And all of the pieces of Nasara Jassara are beginning around the world. Recently had RFK come out and said he's getting started on his situation. That's going to be, and then we've got Elon in the public eye. Elon's going to be the face of the med beds. They're going to reveal those, I believe, at the World's Fairs. If anybody, the man who makes rocket ships that can land themselves, if the public would believe anybody had made a device that could heal you like a med bed would, who would you believe that would do it? Elon Musk. That's why he's in the public eye right now. We've got peace deals going on. We've got mineral deals going on. We've got talk about other countries going to join the United States. That is going to happen. And I believe that is because, well, long story short, I think it's the Crown defrauded the United States a long time ago in the World Court. And I didn't even know if there was a World Court when I got the information. But now we find out, yes, there is a World Court. They defrauded the United States and they didn't have enough money to pay the fines. And so they had to surrender their territory. So, yes, I do believe Australia and Canada and whoever's territory it was at the time has been awarded to the United States and other areas as well. We've got talks of changes in currencies rates. Saudi Arabia is a safe place to hold the meeting for final sign-off on the RV to begin Nasara Jassara. It must be done in order to move forward into changing the currency in a country and have sound money. The RV is pretty much done up until 4A. I believe 4A is probably these big groups like the Admiral Group and the people that have large amounts of currencies, bonds, and other things. So in Trump's first term, he flew around to begin. Now he's flying around to finish. RFK Jr. will clear the way for the new cures and the med beds and the rollout of that, and Elon and the World's Fairs, and Trump is handling the peace deal, so all the wars will cease. I think, in a nutshell, that this is the final trip to get the last pieces or the last contract signed, cross the T's and dots the I's before it's a go. Okay? It might stretch out till Monday. He's got a meeting on Saturday. So don't be surprised if that happens. In the Gentel this week, what did they say? Okay. They said that Trump has a deal to finish. I said, why? He said, you will see. So clearly I can't have that information. China, Philippines, Saudi Arabia, Indonesia. Was it? No. That was Lebanese down here. Some of this stuff has already come out from the Gentel in the news. He said it's a combined effort. I said, why is this important? Money transfers and rates. So if you can't get what you want, who do you send in? The boss shows up. And that's what's happening right now. When can we expect to move forward with 4B? Within a week. That was Monday. So don't be surprised if it takes till Monday. It could go faster. It just depends on how well everything goes. And there could be another delay. We'll just see. But right now, I believe that he is over there. I did see a political gathering in the Gentel, and I didn't know that they were going to have this big meeting of these different countries. So there's a lot of things going on right now. This is a very important trip. Everybody's expecting like movement with 4A. I think that can happen. But as far as 4B notifications, rates posted and stuff, we'll just have to see how this goes. Because once that goes, it's game over. There's no going back from there's no going back now. But it's game over after that. Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm getting text message. So this is good. Yeah, it's kind of a delay, but it's a good one. Okay, this is our goal, the end goal. It's not just about the RV and screw everybody else. Okay, no, the end goal is Nasara Jasara around the world and all the wonderful changes and cures and the way it's going to change everybody's life, and that's what we want to do. And we're going to see a lot of change happen really fast after this trip. So that's a geopolitical news right now. I haven't looked at the news today. I don't know if we have any more Gentel confirms. There are a lot of Gentel confirms that happened and that are on Fallawsophy on Telegram. If you want to go to Fallawsophy on Telegram, I think I have a banner. Let's see. Do I have a banner for that? Yes, I do. And you can go over to Fallawsophy on Telegram. I spend most of my time there when I'm communicating outside of the shows and email. You can also go to jenniferfallaw.com if you'd like to get a reading with me, if you'd like to contact me, get a healing, or contact Susan Gretz or Marcy Howell. Okay. Let's get to the comments. All right. Wait a minute. Well, we'll do it's the evening, but we'll do thoughts over coffee anyway. Okay? Just so we can separate the two. I'm not going to keep this up here because it's really big. And then we'll do questions from everyone. And I'll let you know when you can rumble, rant, and everything else. Lately, I'm not going to keep talking about God-centered conscious creation and keep talking about it because this is something that's very important. I don't want somebody to steal it. All right? They're not going to be able to do what I do. They're not going to be able to do it the way that I do it, but they could steal some of it. So we're not going to do that. You guys know that's my thing, and these are some of the pieces of it. But I would just like to continue to peel back some of these layers of our programming, our perception for us, so that we're prepared for where we're going. Okay? So Mother's Day, of course, was absolutely wonderful with my Katie, who took me to the Coeur d'Alene Resort for the big brunch that they only have on holidays, and it was amazing. I mean, totally got stuffed. And and then Faith with the presents, and she was wonderful. And then so then I wanted to go over to my brother's house at 5 o'clock to see my mom and my sister, who I had not seen for 5 years because she's there. I'm not even talking about it. There's some problems there. In the past, I have a very critical family. Everybody has always been very critical. Even if you have the best of news, my sister will take that and spin it around and twist it into something bad. And use it against you when you walk away to talk about me. I have no idea why. Chick's jealous of me somehow. I don't even know why. But it's always bothered me. It's always a big emotional, and I've moved away from that for various reasons over the years, but Marcy. But over the years, it's always like this big emotional buildup before we have to go to a family gathering. And these people started in on my kids when they were teenagers or becoming adults. And so it was always a big emotional thing. And then my brother has this dinner, and I've got to see her for the first time in 5 years. And my mother, of course, I always love seeing my mom. My mom's not included, all right? And my brother's cool. Me and my brother are good forevermore. And, that's just the way it is. But my sister. So Shelly's always been like when we were growing up, she was like rail thin, right? Like shockingly thin. Like, do you have any organs in your body? Like kind of thin. And I was more stocky and sporty and, riding horses and didn't care. And I wasn't like fat then, but I wasn't as like bird thin, tiny little bone, So when we were younger, she used to call me fat, and I used to call her stupid, which is not okay. And I knew it when I was younger. Okay, I saw one day when we were little that she started to believe me. So I stopped. I got it when I was a little kid. I'm like, oh my God, she thinks she's stupid because of me, because I've been telling her that. And of course, she never stopped calling me fat. So, fast forward many, many years. Every family gathering, there's always something. There's always something. So I can't give her any ammo against me. Randy and I live in town. They all live on top of a mountain, and Shelly built a house up there, and Mom's got some giant log home mansion and 140 acres, and they all live up there, and they're so isolated from society other than work. It's just like my sister didn't even know what an air fryer was. I mean, so anyway, she starts in with her shit. I mean, it was fine. It was fine. But she starts in, just in conversation. Wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. But in previous years, it was always this emotional buildup, and then it was whatever they were going to say to the kids. How are they going to upset the kids? And then the cleanup after that on the way home, and for like 2-3 days, everybody's got this emotional baggage from the family gathering, and it's total bullshit. And so we just separated ourselves from that a while ago. I just said no more. And so she's just like intrusive, right? I mean, there's certain things you don't ask people. You don't ask people how much money they make. Like just like personal information. My sister's always been one, like, you get to the family again, she'll come up and like grab my stomach and shake it to see if it'll move at all, just so that she knows that I'm fatter than her. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't matter what was said, nothing major, but it was still there. It was like, we haven't seen each other in 5 years, and I knew that girl, but she started to take pictures of me with, just out of the blue, and I hate that. And like, just saying all these things, wants to know how much money I make now, and what happened in the divorce, and if the kids live at home, if they're paying rent, and just all this stuff. And she asked me if the kids are paying rent, and I'm like, Well, that's really none of your business, is it? Wow, totally shocked that I would have said that. It's like in that moment I realized, wow, I have grown. I seriously don't give a shit anymore. I mean, like, I was like, I'm seriously unbothered by this. This is actually kind of entertaining. I know that you're fishing for information to use against me later up there on the mountain with everybody who's got no frickin' life and nothing better to do to talk about the people that they should be supporting in their life. Um, and so I was sitting there and I was having conversation, everything was peaceful and stuff, but I realized that. I was like, she's still doing the same thing, and I'm not. I'm free. I'm not free from them like I'm never gonna talk to them anymore. I'm free from the emotional bondage, the expectations that they are again, well, they still are, but like it didn't bother me anymore. Their opinion did not determine my worth. Their expectations and whatever they would say after that didn't matter at all to me. I took my power back from those people a while ago, and I didn't even realize it until I was sitting face to face with them again. I think this is one way that we can peel back these layers of programming and the shackles around our feet to keep us from moving forward and being happy. So if you think about it, that's a good example. Family. Okay. I mean, why does it take us so long to make a decision about anything when we've given all these different people? Now listen, when I talk about this, I'm not talking about being with somebody who's a drug addict, a criminal, serious abuser, anything like that. Don't come back at me with that. I'm talking about just normal situations. I'm not talking about anything extreme like that. And I'm not talking about your kids' opinions, although that sometimes that's valid. If you got little kids, it's very important to choose somebody in your life or make decisions that will benefit them. Kids come first. Okay, always. But why does it take us so long to make a decision? Who are you asking permission from? Who holds you back in your mind, in your environment, in your circles? In the major decisions that you make for yourself in life? Are we waiting for everybody else's approval? Yeah. Are there people there who aren't even present anymore who are affecting those decisions? Somebody that hurt you long ago who determines your self-worth? Somebody that hurt you long ago that makes you believe that you can't trust anybody else because of that idiot? Yeah, we do that. So programming doesn't come just from movies and music and the outside world. It comes from our family environment. It comes from people who we gave power over our identity because we've been taught to seek acceptance in society. Yeah, you got to fit in enough to survive. I mean, come on. But I'm talking about cases where you are imprisoned in your own mind, or you give people so much information and ask their permission, basically friends, circles of friends, psychologists, in work, people at work, everyone that I'm thinking about, studying this. Okay. Do you know that when I was growing, I would have been amazed. I want to be a singer because I used to sing solos all the time, all the way up through high school, won awards, everything like that. You know, um, and I was discouraged from trying. because it's too hard. Wasn't that I wasn't any good at it, probably would have been. No, you need to make money. You need to be responsible. You need to be grounded. You need to make money now. Why? Because my stepfather wanted us to get out of the house as soon as possible. Okay. And I'll just say it, he's a dick. Okay. So now there are people in our lives who are kind of like a catalyst. All right. Like the stepfather situation. He had a child who was not that bright. Okay. He had to like finish her homework and make sure she got and do her work so she got through high school and fix everything for her because she was lazy and spoiled and didn't do the work well. So he had to talk about my mom's kids, my brother, my sister, and myself, Kathy's effing kids, and they're never going to amount to anything. So what do? Oh yeah, watch this. You know, I was just like from the beginning, man, trying to prove that guy wrong. But and that was a positive. That was a positive with that because it did push me forward to achieve. But I had to do it all on my own because I would not accept money from him. Tell you the truth, me and Randy pretty much, well, I'm pretty much an heiress. I mean, if I wanted the money, I could crawl back and kiss the ring right now and be swimming in it. But I learned a long time ago about narcissists and about there was always a price to pay. And that was your freedom. That was your identity. That was your self-worth. And if you didn't do everything that they wanted you to, if you didn't do everything that they said, however ridiculous it was, you went from winner to loser in 60 seconds flat. Took me many, 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 many years to pull out of that. Because in the back of my mind, it was, even though I was an adult and I was on my own and I could make my own decisions, what would Mom and Bill think? What would how is my sister going to spin this to use it against me? What are my friends going to think? Of course, I had absolutely awesome friends who were always like, follow your heart, Jen. You're amazing. Do whatever you want. We're behind you. You know, I've been really blessed with friends. But there were times in the past, like when I shared too much about a relationship. And if you share too much about who you want to be with or what's going on in your personal relationship, now you have to deal with everybody else's opinions when you finally make your decision. They now have power over the decision that you make. Your parents have power over the decision that you make. So you've got this entire village in your mind who you've given power over the decision that you're going to make for your own happiness and your own life. I wanted to be a journalist. I was discouraged from doing that. There's many things that I wanted to be. Oh, that's too hard. I wanted to be a psychologist. Oh, no, you have to do all this internship and you need to make money now. Fine, I'll go study business and make money now. And that's why I did that. But I moved out into my own apartment, did it while I was fixing a failing business for my parents. It took me a long time to pull back from caring what everybody else thought, from being what everyone else thought I should be. And I realized in Mother's Day that I've made it. I didn't give a shit. Of course, I didn't give that girl much ammunition. Yeah, I told her how much money I make, and it's like 5 times more than she makes, and that was kind of fun. And I shouldn't have done that. Sorry about that, Jesus. But like, all right. So I'm not perfect yet, okay? But that was fun. So, but I didn't care. I knew that she was going to take those pictures she took of me. She was going to find the worst one and show it to everybody back home. They're all going to sit around and talk about me. She was going to spin every story I gave her and to turn it into something negative, and everything was my fault or something. And I didn't care. I've been pulling back the layers. I've been doing the work. I've been time after time after time. I've been cutting the cords of attachment. I've been taking the power back from those characters in my past, from the people around me who want to hold me back to elevate themselves. My stepfather could never acknowledge the accomplishments of my mother's children because child had to be the most successful, even if she wasn't. We have to do this because even though we're moving into the God Center conscious creation, okay, we want to eliminate as much negative energy from our minds, from our hearts. We want to break the shackles. Hang on, I'm going to cough. I've been talking all day. Because in order to create consciously and positively and quickly, we need to pull in a large amount of power to fuel that creation. And when you have negative energy and these ties and these rocks in your stream and this veil over you, hang on. There's like green dust on everything outside. All right. We have to get rid of that because, like a scale, okay? So positive energy creates, negative energy, well, so positive energy creates, and then negative energy chips away at that creation. And so all of this negative energy that we have within ourselves, in our minds, all these limitations, it doesn't allow room for that large amount of God's light and creation to be present in your body. It's going to chip away at that. It's going to show up as doubt. It's going to show up as fear. It's going to show up as insecurities. So this is another thing that we need to take a look at. I think about yourself as the circle in the middle of your universe, okay? Now we've got all these lines going out from the circle, okay? To everybody from our present and our past. Doesn't mean you don't love them, okay? Doesn't mean you're not going to be there for them. Doesn't mean you're not going to be nice to them. It just means that when we go to make a decision about something that is good for ourselves, let's say you're totally in love with somebody, okay? Example. But they don't quite fit in to everybody's idea of what is acceptable in their social circles. Okay, so like let's say you're a truther or a spiritual person, okay? Well, I can't do that because, mom and dad won't understand that. And my friends, I already spoke to my friends about it and they're like, oh no, you couldn't possibly be with somebody like that. And my ex is going to attack me if I'm with somebody like that. And they're always looking for my sister's going to attack me. They're always looking for some reason, to cut me down. I can't be with somebody like that. Listen, your ex is going to hate absolutely everybody that you're with, no matter what. They're going to find fault in everybody if he or she is perfect. So we're going to cross that one out. I don't even care if you have kids, unless this person is a drug addict, an abuser, or, has a record. It don't frickin' matter. They can't do anything to you. They're going to talk about you anyway. It don't matter who you're with. So if you're doing that because of the ex and you're afraid of retaliation or you're afraid of something like that, then you're just being a puss. Because that person's going to attack you. They're going to look for any reason. They're going to talk about you anyway. And everybody's going to get tired of it. Everybody's going to be like, you know what? You've been talking about this and coming down on this person for so many years. We don't even want to hear it anymore. So we're going to cross that one out because that's ridiculous. You know, they can't do anything to you. Mom and dad, well, you know, it depends on how old you are. They won't be around forever. Did they ask you if they're remarried, who's okay for them to remarry? No. Did your sister ask at you if it's okay to be with a narcissistic idiot that she wanted to marry? No. Do your friends, if when you want to make a decision about a job, about a person to be with, a relocation, anything, and they tell, oh no, that's terrible, you can't do that. No, I'm totally not gonna be your friend anymore if you do that. That you're an idiot if you do that. Do you think that they're gonna ask your permission before they do anything? No, they're gonna walk in, they're gonna tell you exactly what they already did. So we're gonna cross them off. Now, if you need counsel about something that happened within a relationship and you really need to be talk to somebody about it, make sure you really need to talk to somebody about it, because a relationship, a marriage, whatever, that is sacred. That should be completely between you and that person. By going outside of that, you are avoiding learning how to effectively communicate within that relationship. When you take your problems outside of somebody else. Now, yeah, we're not talking about serious problems where you need counseling, stuff like that, all right? Or you need to know if you should leave. I'm talking about everyday stuff. You don't go and sit with your girlfriends and talk about your husband and tell them everything that he did, what happened in the bedroom and everything. That is private. Do not welcome in the opinions of others in your sacred bond and your union. That's what's amazing about it, is that it's private. If you really want to know something, if you really want to ask your person, learn to communicate. Okay? But it's all these lines that lead to these other people outside of this circle that are affecting the decisions that you make in your own life. Whether I should take that job, whether I should go to that school, whether I should take this person back, whether I should forgive, how worthy I am, if I'm good enough, everything else. These are energetic ties to other people that you're giving the responsibility to make the decisions over the creation of your happy reality. We want to pull that back. We want to be the master of our own universe here. We want to make our own decisions. Now, if you're just venting, that's fine. But I wouldn't suggest, I learned a long time ago, I was with this guy, my first fiance. And I used to tell my friends everything. And they used to tell me everything. And when we had a problem, I told them everything. But then I found that when it was time to forgive him and to stay together, I held back from that decision because there was all these 4 girls over here who didn't think that I should. And now I have to deal with going back to them and telling them why I forgave him, when it's none of their damn business. And it's not their decision. Okay? Not only do you put the responsibility of making these decisions in your own lives in the hands of others, it's scattering your energy. Okay, it's scattering your power. Okay, we want to cut these ties. Doesn't mean you have to kick them out of your life. You can still talk to them about things, but be more careful about what you involve them in, especially a relationship. Especially a relationship with your children. That is private too. Okay? We want our decisions to be our own. We want our creation to be our own. So we're going to cut these energetic ties. They're not necessarily cords of attachment, but they might be if these individuals have attachments and they really don't want to see you succeed. It may be a subconscious thing. They'll give you bad advice like because they're like, whoa, I know people. I always talk about it. Let's say I know this girl. Young girl. Most amazing girl ever. Okay. She has a boyfriend. She's 25. Her boyfriend's parents. I'm sorry about this, Jesus. I've never seen stupidity like that. I've never witnessed anything like it. I mean, the father couldn't even keep up with me one day. Shocking. Shocking. Every time their son wanted to study something, wanted to achieve something, wanted to be something, they discouraged him not to. Why? They actually said it. What makes you think you could ever be anything more than me? I'm like, I'm so shocked. I mean, isn't that the point? That we want our children to do better than we did. So shocked I never heard anything like that in my butt. But this happens. There are people that will give you the wrong advice for their own purposes, for their own jealousy, for their own ulterior motives. And they will act like your friend. And now you've involved everybody you know and all your friends and all your family and everything in the decision that you yourself need to make for your life. And they could end up all moving away. And you make a decision that they're happy with and you are not happy. And you could have passed on something, a job, a career, a person, because it didn't fit into what everybody else wanted for you. Listen, you came into this life naked and alone. And that's exactly, well, we'll probably put clothes on you. That's exactly how you leave it. This is your journey. This is your creation. And along the way, you are the one who gets to decide what your will is. And that will determine what you create and you experience in your reality. I've talked to women who were afraid to be with a man that they were absolutely in love with. There's nothing wrong with the dude. Because they were afraid that the ex was going to slander their name to the family and attack this person, and this person was going to leave them because the ex attacked him so bad, and they weren't going to fit in, and they weren't the right class or race or whatever it was. And they came to me asking me, well, if I'm with this person, is the ex going to do this to me? You know what? Here's a hatchet. Let's cut the damn cord that your ex has over you. When you divorce that person, I don't give a shit if you have kids or not. You're not doing anything that they can take the kids away from you for. You're not being abusive or doing drugs or neglecting the children. There's nothing wrong with this person that's going to do that. And your ex is already with somebody, her ex was already with somebody else, and he didn't really ask her if it was okay. But this person was so afraid to make a move forward because this old person had so much power over their mind. So much energetic power about every decision they made was, are they going to retaliate against me? That's a prison, and that's a prison that you create. You're allowing it. Look at it logically. What the hell is he going to do? I mean, what's he really going to do? I mean, if he was coming around, it wasn't, if he comes around serious and tries to hurt you or anything, call the cops. Me? I'd probably have fun with it and set booby traps. Just telling you. I'll be one step ahead of you the whole frickin' time. Kind of psychic. But that'd be kind of fun. But I'm saying, energetically we give our power away. We keep ourselves in these own prisons. And so even if we reject evil, we reject the program, we reject society, the all of the lies about who we really are and what we can achieve from society, from movies, from music, from politics, from everything else. We really have to go back, and the next step is to take a look at our own life. Who is it that owns your identity? Who is it that has the ultimate say, the decision about what your next move is? It's you. Are any one of these people going to ask your permission for anything that they want to do? No. No. It's the peacemakers, and most of you are, that will think this way. I don't want to upset anybody in this circle. So I'm going to create a reality where they all have say, they all have control. And in turn, sooner or later, you are not free. I didn't realize I was doing this. I mean, I kind of did over time with the whole stepfather thing, yeah, but I didn't realize that I had come to this place. Not that I don't care, because I still love everybody. I'm not being confrontational. I'm still the peacemaker. But one thing that I learned how to do is to stop living for everyone else. Of course, my profession, I help everybody else. But what I'm saying is, in order to create that happy reality for myself, I have to be the ultimate decision maker. And in order to pull in more energy, more power, more, I see power because it clicks with people to understand what I'm talking about, like a battery, okay? To fuel this conscious creation. It's God's light. It's life force energy. In order to do that, we gotta get rid of all of these ties. Cut them. Mentally cut them. And then you walk into that room and you don't ask people what is okay for you to do. You tell them what you've done. And you don't ask their permission. And if they don't like it, you look at them like, so? This is how we become free. We still get to love people. We still get to have our circles. But most of what we suffer from is everybody else's opinion of us, even if they're not even around anymore. We take this a bit deeper. The inner circle. Here, this is the inner circle. What about where it extends out from there? The kid on the playground who called you stupid because you didn't catch the ball, or or the person that pantsed you in front of the entire auditorium, or whatever. That happened to my ex anyway. The first love who left you for somebody else and said you weren't pretty enough, or you weren't enough in some way. That voice every time you go out to meet somebody else, or that insecurity that is inside of you. Your aunt, your uncle who said something to you when you were a child. Oh, you're never going to amount to anything. Or what's the matter with you? You stupid? Or, oh, you got to keep an eye on her. She's getting fat. Or whatever it was. I don't even know what examples to use, but these people that aren't even in our orbit anymore, that keep our self-esteem down, that keep us from holding us back from achieving, they still have power over your decisions, over your identity. Kick them out. The first love, or the narcissist that hurt you, the relationship you had a long time, the person that cheated on you, the person that betrayed you. Do you feel comfortable enough calling them up right now and asking if it's okay? If you feel good about yourself? No. But in your mind, that's exactly what you're doing. When you relive that over and over again, most of these relationships are lessons. And everybody's like, oh, here we go. I don't want to hear about it. Shut up. All right. They are. And you have become stronger from it. But if we don't release the trauma and the power that their words and their opinions had over us after we learned that lesson, then we really haven't learned. They're just someone who used to be there who still has power over your decision-making process. Well, what would everybody think? Well, it's like I used to be completely controlled by this my entire life. Oh my God, well, I couldn't possibly tell anybody what I do for a living. Well, of course I did it for the whole kid's whole life, just to, keep the backlash away from her. Nobody knew what I did. Nobody. Randy and Mom, that's it. So I'm real good at that, hiding that. And if I got into a relationship where somebody's family and whatever didn't want to know what I did, that'd be kind of fun. I'd just be like, well, tell them I do this. I don't care. But I'm not going to let people's opinions stop me from being that. I'm not going to let other people's opinions make me feel bad about what I do. I'm not going to I think there was a point in time where I felt like there was a certain area in which I could succeed in this. But I couldn't exceed those boundaries because of what everybody else would think to me. Oh my God, everybody that I grew up with and went to school with is going to see me on TV, or, they're going to see the books, or they're going to do this. I don't give a shit anymore. Oh. Why? Because I have decided that I would like to create more peace, happier outcomes for me and my children. I think of me and my children as like one unit, okay? But who the hell cares? And you don't even really know what these people would think. It's all made up in your head. No one said anything. It's what you believe they'll say. It's what you're telling yourself. You're creating your own negative energy to block the flow of the life force energy, God's light of creation at love, to raise your vibration and to create positive outcomes and things in your own life. So, make your own decisions. Every time that face, that abuser, that person on the playground, that memory pops up that tells you, that has something negative to say, especially past relationships where you were abused. Like what did mine do to me? I've got I can make a list here. What's the worst one? You don't get to have husbands because you're evil. And anybody that comes around you gets attacked by spirit. Like, well, you're fucking crazy. And watch me go. I'm just like I'm such a pain in the ass now. I'm just like, you know what? I think that was, thank you. I think that was a catalyst that just like pushed me right over the edge, dude. I think I'm, but there was a time when it would still pop up in my head. I never believed that was true, but I would hear it again. So what we're going to do, here's the exercise. It's a visual. Okay. And it's like a cord cutting exercise, but this is more fun. All right. We're just going to do this. This is for our own emotional well-being. And it's a cut the energy type, because what you're doing, and people don't realize, is that you are still giving positive energy to these people and receiving negative energy in return. This is going on in your mind. You're sending out a part of your power to these people. So what we're going to do is I want you to picture yourself with like this vest on, okay? I'm doing a show. Okay, so this is the vest exercise. You know, I'm going to have to go down and write all this crap down because I just make this stuff up as I go along. That's why I'm recording everything on shows. Okay, so this is the vest exercise if anybody wants to write it down. So imagine you have this vest on you. Crap, it's been an hour and a half. No, it's been an hour. Okay, we're good. You have this vest on you, and it's got all these little hooks. Okay, just little hooks like you would hang like a backpack on, okay, at school. All right. And on these hooks, so here's my doodle with this. This is what we're looking at here. You're in the center of your universe. You are the creator of your reality. Every time we mentally start feeling this, when we're going to make a decision, and we feel held back, and well, this memory pops up. I want to think of these people as like this cardboard cutout that pops up, all right? And from them, there is this rubber band that is hooked on to one of your hooks. Stepfather pops up. Oh, I'm sorry. And we're going to let that rubber band just snap back at them, and it's going to blow their cardboard cutout back. We've released our energy from them. We're no longer feeding them or whatever attachments they have. And it's not that they're bad people, okay? Because some people just, they can't help themselves. But sometimes they do have attachments, and this is also a good way of cutting a cord of attachment that is draining your life force energy and feeding that attachment. So we're going to start snapping these rubber bands back. And when we do that, you have no power over me anymore. It's liberating. And it's kind of fun. And it's kind of fun to see, imagine the cardboard cutout in your mind, just like, sailing back. This is something that I, as a psychic, a medium, I have talked to thousands of people, and this is the most common problem that we have. Is that we give our power away. There are leaks in our bucket. There are holes in the hose. There are rocks in the stream. There is negative energy that is diminishing the flow of positive energy into your body, so that you can more quickly and efficiently create positive outcomes and a positive life and healing for yourself. You're all grown-ups now. We made it. We're all grown up now. We don't need everybody else's opinion about what we want in our life. Everybody's got some kind of ex-boyfriend, some kind of ex-something. They're never going to want you to succeed or do better than them, and they're going to find fault in every girlfriend, boyfriend, everything that you ever going to have. Especially have kids together, and there's some kind of war going over for the affection of the children. They're going to find fault in you no matter what. So their opinion doesn't matter at all. The reverse of that situation, another thing we don't want to do, is go and find someone to make that person jealous. That's a whole bunch of dark energy right there. The idea that you are consciously taking the steps to make someone else jealous, bad, bad, bad. The person that you use to make them jealous with, that's not okay. Choosing someone just because they would make that person jealous, hoping that it hurts the other person, bad all the way around. You're just pulling in your own dark energy to diminish your power of creation. Drop all that crap. You are a grown up now. We are not doing that anymore. We have evolved. We have powered up. That is no longer in our circle. That is very low vibrational to do something like that. We decide how good we are, how good our life is, who we're going to invite into it. Why? Because they make us happy. The only time that has any, is if you've got small children or you got children, and your children, if you got adult children, you don't need their permission. You don't. Now, it's important if they like the person. If the person's like terrible something, and they're like concerned about you, and they want to say something about that, fine. But I'm pretty sure they're not going to ask you about any of the boyfriends that the girls haven't asked me, and I haven't liked. I'm not going to say that out loud. I haven't liked any of them. And I kind of wish I had one of those wands to measure vibrations. I'd be like, you know what? Better get running. It's coming. If they don't, I wish I had something. But it's not my decision. It's their life. It's their story. We don't know who they wrote into it. Your kids don't know who they wrote in it. Your kids are going to go off and have their own life, and you're going to be by yourself. And who the hell do you want to be with? It's your decision. If that person behaves in a way that is not good for the family, then it's your responsibility to have that communication with them and say, this isn't working. You cannot treat my family this way. That's your problem. Not the kids, not your friends, not the psychologist, nobody. We need to be brave now. We need to stand alone now. Amidst all the people. That is how you shine. Okay? All right. So I wanted to teach that exercise, the vest exercise, because that's kind of fun. I've had that one for a few years. I came up with that a while ago. But it's when I'm looking at this onion that is our programming, that's one of the things that I see most often. And when people will ask me, and I kind of notice it when they're talking about, what does this person think? And what does that person think? And is it okay if I do this? And they're trying to seek they're just a mess because they want to either take this job or make this move or study this or be with this person, but they can't, and they deny it because of what everybody else thinks that they should be. Those people didn't write your path. And you don't want to pass on something that could be your golden road that leads you to the most happiness because somebody else didn't think it would be okay. They don't know shit. And they're not going to ask your opinion about their life. They're just going to tell you what they did. Okay? Stop being controlled by everybody else in your life and be the boss. Be the boss. There's people out there who are bosses of their companies. They're in positions of, their management. They're the head of the household and everything else. Live it. You can't truly be that if you're waiting for everybody else's permission to make a decision that is best for you. Okay? Okay. All right. Let me get over here. Oh my God. Time's only been going for like 13 hours. All right. Here we go. That is not where I'm supposed to be. Trying to get to the comments. All right. Everybody can start the Rumble Rants. Did they? I don't know. I don't see any yet. Oh, there's one. Hang on. Wow. Wow. Is this the end? Okay, Janet. $20 Rumble Rant. I think that's Janet. Yes. Hello, my name is Janet. Do I purchase for my granddaughters Issa and Kala on Sailfish Point Boulevard? No, that's not it. Keep looking. I think that one somebody might get that, or there's something about that just doesn't work out. $10 minimum on the Rumble Rants, please. All right, that's right, Ron. It is your happiness and not anybody else's. Because you didn't come here to live their life. They get to make their decisions about their life. You came here to live yours. They don't feel what you feel inside for somebody. They don't feel the pull towards a certain profession or a certain course of study. They don't understand what's going on inside of you. All they know is it's like, oh, well, I watched this movie and I studied psychology, or I went here and I think I know what's best. And it's like, okay, well, dude, your life's a mess. Take a look at the people's lives that you're asking for their opinion. This person's got like 3 failed marriages, and you go and talk. You want marriage advice from this person? No. Go and talk to your spouse. Be brave. Learn to communicate. That's sacred. It's private. Keep it between you. Okay? All right. I'll get off my soapbox. Hi, Jen. Terry here. Can you tell me if our outdoor cat MC has kitties in utero? Let's see. No. Not yet, but maybe soon. Are they in heat right now? It's like I feel maybe it's too small. Maybe they're too small. It's like I feel kitties coming. Maybe they're too small for me to see. I'm going to change that to a yes. Okay. Julie Cranford here. Karen Caraway from work is true friend. Oh. Yeah. She's cool. She's all right. She's got her own stuff going on, and she's just kind of oblivious to other people's feelings sometimes. She's fine though. Brad, $10. Jan, hi, Jan here. Do you see me moving soon? Depends on what you think is soon. I see like 3 months for that. Okay. I think that's it for the Rumble Rants. We got 4. I'm going to start scrolling. Susie Gratz, I can't believe you said that. I am shocked. I'm not even saying that. So basically, she says, when I pass away, I want to be buried naked, facing ass up, so everyone that didn't want me to succeed can kiss my ass. That's my girl. Right there. I used to be so passive growing up. So passive. Oh yeah, everything's okay with me. Yeah, you can play with my toys, you can wear my clothes, and I don't really care if that broke and whatever. It's just stuff. I mean, like, yeah, everything's fine with me, and I don't care. I don't have an opinion at all. Used to be so passive. I think it was like disappointment by disappointment, step by step, and I didn't let it make me bitter, and I didn't make me it like harden me, but I just kind of like just step by step said no to the imprisonment, and yes to the freedom, and yes to God and where He wanted me to go, and no to evil and where they wanted to keep me, and here we are. I mean, started a long time ago. I think the like when my husband died and I had to be mom and dad. I think that's when it started. And it's funny, like I went and I was the author. I was called the author mom, but like the kids, I went and I was tutoring at the school and I was reading my book to them. And I had like a part time job there at the girls' elementary school, and so I kind of understand why all the little boys on the bus started calling me, "Your mom's a Faith. Your mom's a badass." Why are they saying that? What did I do? It was because I in order to have the tutoring jobs, I had to have all the shit work, and I was on the playground at the, for all the lunches, and then in the spring, the boys would come out and play football, and I was just like all over that crap. I mean, I'm out there with the whistle having a ball, and we had a ball. But if anybody did, like, because the boys, I wasn't used to boys. If any of the boys like got out of line, I'm just like, and they just they thought that was so scary. I'm like, oh yeah. I wasn't talking to them like everybody else. Like, oh, now Jimmy, now let's not do that. And Jimmy's like kicking his friend, and I'm just, you know what? I'm gonna get you. I know where you live. And let me start calling me the badass. I don't know. It's probably not okay. It was fun though. I love that so much. That was fun. All right, where am I? Did that. Scott, 1484. Hi, Scott. What will be first? What will be first? A new job offer or the RV? Scott. RV. Hi, Jen. This is Julie. My daughter, Catherine, lost identical twin. Oh my God. Twin girls in 2018. She now has twins, John and Lacey. Yep. Are they the same souls? They absolutely are. I have seen this time and time again. This, if you're meant to have somebody with you, they'll try multiple times to get in. And if there's something wrong with the womb or the body that they tried to create had some, it was flushed out early. Now I don't think it's the same. I'm talking about if she lost them as a miscarriage or a stillborn. But if they came out and lived and they passed away and then she had twins again, no, then you've got 4 children. But I have seen time and time again when people had miscarriages over and over again, and they're like, well, I've got like 7 children back home in heaven. And I'm like, no, you don't. You have all your children with you. I learned this a long time ago. They will try again and again to get in. It's not always the case, but many times I've seen that. Margin call. Hi, Jen. I spent time worried about the safety of my exchange appointment, both getting there and sketchy stuff happening during the appointment. Can you see how my appointment goes? Don't spend time worrying about that. Spend time creating that this is not going to be a big deal. It's going to be easy. I'm going to see the numbers. I'm going to make the call. It's going to be like going to a doctor's appointment or going in to sign loan papers. I'm just going to walk in there, hand them the bag. They're going to do all the work, hand me a receipt. make sure it matches up to my list, and then I'm going to walk out a billionaire. And that's how that's going to happen. And everything's going to be fine. B, thank you, God. And that's pretty much exactly how it goes, except you go over to another table, I think, for like humanitarian reasons or Zim or something like that. Betty here, wondering if my granddaughter Sophia is okay. Have not heard from her for a couple months. She's fine. She's been away, like in another state or staying with somebody else. She is okay. Yeah, she is okay. Whether Joe, hi Jen, this is Joe. Awesome show. Oh, I know what Joe that is. I rent a place with my son, daughter-in-law, plus grandkids. Do you see us buying a place nearby to where we are now after the RV? The lease is up in July. I feel like this is all handled by then because when you're moving out in July, I feel like you just go ahead and let the release run out and then move into the other places. Yes. Okay. Hi, Jen. My name is Kathy D. I have an 18.5-year-old toy poodle. Wow. She has kidney issues. Can you give me any idea of a timeline for her? She has small seizures most of the day, so hard to watch her. I'm not going to tell you when anything's going to die. A dog's going to hang in there for a while. I don't know what you do for her. Like a couple of years at least. I mean, like, I don't know. Little dogs can live to like that long. Misunderstood 427. Will my project be approved? Yes, but I feel like you're going to get contacted and they're going to ask you some questions about that. Like, would you like to alter this? Would you, there's something about it. Or either they do that at the table. There's something about it that needs to be reworked or restructured. But I feel like someone talks to you about it. Red, White, Blondie. Hi, Jen. Tiffany here. Do you see anything happening at the next court date, June 3rd, for our foster to adopt? Okay. God, I think they're going to give the mom some kind of rights. It's not a good court date. If you can do anything ahead of that to anticipate how that might go, get some extra help, do it. Okay, whoops, lost the comments. Alright, Rumble Rats. I'm just gonna randomly scroll here until we get more Rumble Rants. Marcy! I'm just gonna tell y'all, I've told you Marcy's badass, right? You don't want to mouth off to her. It's not gonna turn out well for you. She don't hold back and she types in caps, so you're gonna lose. It's hilarious, actually. I've always thought it was hilarious. Decox to 1254. Hi Jen, this is Denise. My husband has been in and out of the hospital 3 times since February. Please let me know when his medbed appointment will be. I don't have Denise. Decox, Denise. Cox. August. Hi Jen, this is Mindy. I lost one of my kitties, Boo, about a year ago. I had to put her down. I was wondering if she's okay. Yeah. Yeah, she's fine. She sleeps with you often. There's something about you feeling almost like this staticky nudge at one point. I don't know if it was on your arm or your hip or something, and then you were like, what's that? That was her. It kind of almost feels like when you've got static and like the balloon was static and you put it up to your arm hair. That's kind of what it feels like when you get touched by spirit. Okay. No more rumble rants? Okay, guys, I've been going since like, I don't know, 5 a.m. and I need to eat. And someone's knocking on the door. So clearly they want something. What is it? Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining me here tonight. Let's try the best exercise. Just remember to do that. I mean, it really is. It's just, it's kind of fun to see the cardboard cutout just go sailing back. But just, it's the awareness of it as well. What's holding me back here? What is it in my mind that makes me feel that I can't achieve this or I can't do that or I'm not good enough or I, have to stay in this place or, whatever limitation it is. Who is it? Where is it coming from? What's the origin? And they were like, oh, I see you from, 7th grade. You're not welcome here anymore. That's another good thing to say. You have no power over me anymore. You're not welcome here anymore. And just because it is like a leaky hose. This energy that comes down through the top of your head and then flows out through it's the heart chakra. But I keep focusing on the solar plexus. I really think that's where it's coming out of. Like the heart chakra is right next to it, but I really believe it's the solar plexus where we've got this creation. But there's like this loop that goes on with the energy in your body. And these are not the only chakras. When I look at the chakras, none of them have colors. Okay, we have like big ones and we have little ones. So we got little ones on like our arms and the ends of our hands and everything. It's really trippy. But these are the energy centers, and that energy keeps flowing in and out of those. And we'll talk about that later for healing. But but if we've got all these, like this picture, if we've got all these leaks that are going out to everybody outside of ourselves, how strong is your creation going to be? And if we are allowing the negative energy to remain and to chip away at the conscious creation of that positive event in your life, now you're never going to be able to interfere with people's free will. You can't make people love you. You can't do all that crap. That's not going to work. That's going to spiral around towards you like karma. Okay? That is not divine. We don't seek revenge. We don't inflict harm. It just is what it is. But for ourselves and our own happiness, And to have more power of creation within us, we have to close off these leaks. Okay? We have to start giving our power away to everybody else around us who will make a frivolous decision because they read some book, watched some movie, don't want you to succeed, do better than them, whatever. They don't get to decide what your reality looks like. You do. And that's a power up. All right? I love you all. I will see you in the morning on Real News Live with Mike and Jen on Rubble. And we will talk about whatever is going on the political scene and with the RV. Okay? Okay. Okay, my brain's starting not to work. All right. There it is. Have a lovely evening. Bye.